Hi, and thanks for joining our webinar today. I'm Rachel Hooper, a product marketer here at Message Media, and with me today I have Joe Masloon, who's our sales engineer. Today, what we're going to be talking about is what you can start achieving when you start adding SMS to your marketing mix, and so you can start seeing the huge return on investment and really harnessing the emerging trends that are coming out of the e-commerce world. We're going to talk to you about some success stories that some of our customers have seen, and then we're going to show you how to practically get started using our SMS marketing automation app for Shopify. As with all of our webinars, if you have any questions that you wanted to ask, just drop a note into the questions box at the side of the GoToWebinar screen, and one of our moderators will be able to respond to you either in the session or at the end in Q&A. We're also going to be making this webinar available on demand via our website. Just head across to the messagemedia.com website and check out our resources section. This webinar, past webinars, ebooks and blogs are all there ready for you to use. So for those of you who don't know who we are already, we're Message Media and Australia's largest SMS provider. We've helped tens of thousands of customers globally to set up and send business messages. We've been doing this for over 20 years, and we've been working for retailers most of that time. And last year, we launched our Shopify app to bring the best of SMS to the world's leading e-commerce platform. So let's talk about what we're all here to discuss today, and that is how to make SMS an integral part of your customer communication strategy. And to kick off, we're going to be talking about how significantly customer behaviour has changed over the last year and how some retailers have used that to their huge advantage. Vino Mofo is a customer of ours, and though the woes of COVID have been tough, it's about practical ways that SMS has been used to boost the bottom line, and specifically for Vino Mofo, they've actually been able to see 120 times return on investment simply by adding SMS to an existing customer win-back journey. The way they did this was they looked at an existing email journey that they ran, they tried adding SMS to it, and that's when they saw their huge return on investment. Better still, they also saw the ability to start winning customers back that hadn't purchased from them in over 6 months. And that's where SMS can really be powerful. But it doesn't just need to be something that is about big customers either. We've actually also worked with smaller former bricks and mortar companies who have actually moved across to Shopify. And when we worked with this little lolly shop that's based out of Victoria and Melbourne and Victoria, they started seeing from a very dry and very cold base that they could actually see 10% of their customers visiting their online shop within 5 minutes of receiving their SMS, and 8% of those customers ordering as a result of that SMS. So it's a question of whether you're a small and new to e-commerce business or a much larger shop, it's about using the channels that your customers engage with for the best and maximum return. And it's a really nice but scary thing about the mobile phone, and specifically SMS. The concept of nomophobia is that fear that without your mobile phone, you're going to be lost. And I can predict that most of us who are tuned in today would have their phone within arm's reach right now. And you can use that impact to your benefit. With SMS, you can capture immediate attention, even on the phone's lock screen. With email, it's more likely to be lost to the clutter. So let's talk about how that sort of thing has changed and what's actually changing in customers' minds, particularly in the last few months. Recent stats from the Bank of America has estimated that the rate of e-commerce has accelerated during the time of COVID from within 4 months, what we thought would take us 5 to 7 years to mature to. And it's actually showing that there's actually increases in new customers as a result of this move to e-commerce and the loyalty that people have shown to brands that have been there for them in the past. But better still, it's the fact that the use cases keep on building up, particularly at this time. Anything from improving that e-commerce to retail experience, introducing things like click and collect, or even contact delivery and delivery to boot, are ways that people can start making a better way to do things. But very specifically in the Shopify world, we're going to be talking about 4 major use cases. How you can make the best use of abandoned carts. When we know that 70% of carts are abandoned, how do you make the best possible use of those customers to come back and get a better return on investment? And we'll talk a bit about some of those results that we've seen. Winbacks, making sure that your customers keep coming back and enjoying those really strong return on investments like Vino Mofo saw. Ensuring that any time that you've got back in stock, your customers are seeing it first time and it's not getting lost to an email alert, and also how to do campaigns. So it's at this point, I'm going to hand over to Joey, who's going to show you how you can start getting going in our app, how to start making use of some of these features, and we'll talk about some of the results we've been seeing with our customers. So over to you, Joey.
Cool, thanks, Rach. All right, I'll just share the screen. Does that look good on your end?
Looks great, thanks, Joey.
All right, cool, thank you. All right, so first things first, it's knowing about where our app sits within Shopify. So it's within the App Store. So if you were to head into the Shopify App Store and you type in SMS Marketing Automation, right, you'll see a few search results there. You want to click on the SMS Marketing Automation by Message Media and then hit Add App. Once you hit Add App, just log into your Shopify URL and click Install App, and then that will get installed into your Shopify instance here under the apps. Once installed, if you navigate onto the apps and then hit into SMS Marketing Automation, this is where you'll be presented with the dashboard of our app there. So I guess first use case would go through, Rach, would be our abandoned cart recovery. So with one of the main use cases in Shopify, one of the features, I guess main features was the abandoned cart recovery. So on the left-hand side, when you click in abandoned cart there, you'll be presented with this screen. So for the date range, by default, it's set as 30 days, and you'll see some stats there as well. So what you'll see is total revenue that visitors have left in the cart. So the amount of people that have gone in, added things to cart, and then exited the store. You'll see a total revenue of the last 30 days in this section here. And then sales, how many SMSs have converted by the notifications, and then the cost of SMS multiplied by the revenue times 100 for the ROI. So to the bottom here, we have a few templates already set up for you. You can set up templates as well easily on the new notification section here. So for example, if I was to do a notification for, say, 1 hour abandoned cart. So we'll set that delay for 1 hour. Now you do have the option to apply a discount in the SMS or within the cart. So under the discount section, you will need to create a discount first. So if I was to do a 10% discount, and we'll say, hey, is one of the templates, we'll do a, hey, you forgot something, it's in the bag. Don't forget you left the items in the cart. The cart URL, this is a merge tag that will take the customer back to the cart, and then the 10% discount will be applied. If you wanted to personalize the SMS, you can merge in the first name as an example that they've checked in from. So one thing to note with abandoned carts is ideally you would want to have mobile number as a required field when they're checking out, whether it's shipping number or with email, and then we'll be able to collate, get that information to get this automation happening. Yeah. Now, once that's set up, cool, you just hit on publish, and then on the right hand side you see status. Now, obviously with all these columns here, what they basically mean is, so for example, with my 1 hour abandoned cart, if I send 10 SMSs, it'll say 10, and then the cost of the SMS in dollar wise. With sessions, this session is basically who's clicked the link in the URL. So it's not the same as Shopify sessions, it's actually who's clicked on the link and gone to your cart from that SMS. Orders is basically how many orders you've received and the sales wise as well. And then the return on investment is number of SMSs spent for that specific campaign multiplied how many sales you've received times 100, and you'll see a percentage there as well.
And so, Joey, you've got a number of notifications there. Why would you be recommending customers to have, say, a 15-minute, a 1 hour? Like, why would there be a number of them for you there?
Yeah, no, of course. So ideally, we do say, you know, within the first 15 minutes, either customer has gotten distracted or they completely forgot about the whole purchasing of the things. So 15 minutes, you'd sort of send them a reminder, like a little nudge, but don't provide them a discount as of yet. And then within 1 hour, or sometimes even 24 hours, depending on your preference, we see a higher return and more customers engage if they do provide like a small discount on the platform.
In fact, we actually did some research last year, and we found that while 70% of carts got abandoned, if you did remind them to come back, more than 50% of customers will come back time and time again, and only at that point that they will actually purchase. So actually sending them the reminders does encourage them to come back to you.
Yep.
Great. So
cool.
So you recommend setting that up for customers with a couple of notifications at increasing levels of urgency.
Correct, yeah. And I guess it works hand in hand because a lot of shops like email abandoned cart feature out of box. So a lot of people do A/B testing, which one works first. So if they do 15 minutes for email and then the text after 1 hour, again, it does get more cut through. So you will see better results there.
Fantastic. Some of the early numbers that we have, some of the numbers that we have seen on return on investment for abandoned carts within the Shopify app is we've seen ones in the realms of thousands of %, because the size of cart versus the cost of a few cents in an SMS is just quite astronomical. So the impact of it can be very, very powerful indeed. Great. So Joey, what about Winbacks? How would you talk to customers about why you'd start using Winbacks, how you'd use them, and specifically how to achieve results like 120 times ROI?
Yeah, good one. So yeah, Winback is definitely a popular automation we have in the app.
I think we've got you a little bit on the delay side at the moment.
Especially if you know customers or if a product you're selling is sort of like a recurring. So can you hear me now properly?
Yeah, we're good.
Look, we're good. There we go. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, Winback is a popular, I guess, feature automation tool within the app. If you do sell a product that you intended to, you know, get cream, or that, you know, it's going to end in about 30 days, or a shampoo bottle that, you know, customers will purchase every X amount of days, the Winback is a no-brainer to set up. It takes 2 minutes to set up and it just works. I don't know, like, it's a good tool. So let me show you how to use it. So under the marketing section within Shopify, and then navigate to automations, you would want to create a new automation here. So let me just move this. Cool. So when you're selecting an automation, just tap on the SMS tab, and then we'll do the customer Winback. When you set up the Winback, so for that to load, right? So for example, you can do this on a specific product or all your products. So if I'm doing this on, we'll say a t-shirt as an example, right? Now, campaign budget. So this is the amount of credits you purchase in the account. You can set up a budget on the account. So if I want to spend, you know, $4 per day onto this in USD dollars, you can have that out there. Now the target audience, so customer purchase X amount of days. So, you know, if I know someone's going to purchase that specific product every 30 or 45 days, I'll set that there. Now the product, I'll select the t-shirt that I was talking about. Right there. Again, if you want to do it for all your products, just leave this section blank. And then you can also add a specific checkout option. So, you know, if it's above a specific amount of $100, then trigger this workflow, or you can leave it as any amount or below a specific amount. Now, part of the SMS is you can send MMS, so adding the image into the text as well. So what you can do is you can select the primary image of the actual product you're selling. So it'll come up in the SMS section here of, hey, this is the product we're selling. Just one thing to note about MMS is the cost is 3 times higher than the SMS. So some people choose not to use MMS and just use it as plain text there at the bottom. So again, setting up the message content, you know, hello, first name, you can merge fields again. This is a random, it's been a month since you last, you know, we'll say, bought a nice t-shirt, cool, this time for more. Your friends that will merge your store name as well, and then add them a link to your website as well. So on the right hand screen here, you can see the example there. By default, you will see a stop to opt out. So just to know that with all your marketing SMSs that come out of our Shopify app, we make sure you're spam compliant and we'll handle all opt outs for you that customers receive from there. Now, I guess once that's good to go, you can publish activity. And again, same as the abandoned cart rate, it's good to go. You the exact same sales strategy active. Again, cost of the campaign, sales, and how many sessions it's generated from that specific campaign.
So both of those are really good, just disciplined ones to have in as a set and forget. So you just know that your shop is targeting your customers that have engaged with you, and you're not going for new acquisition. You're just working your customer base.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think the other one to say here is we don't actually see it as independent. We actually find the best results when you start merging different channels together. So whether it's email and SMS or other forms of marketing can be a really effective way to make sure your message is heard, but you get the cut through on the device that people are actually constantly got on them. So what about,
exactly, yeah, so you can.
So what about back in stock, Joey? As you're navigating through to it, one of the examples for back in stock that one of our colleagues talks about a lot about is that capacity for really high profile items or really desirable items that tend to fall out of stock really fast, and the disappointment you get when you only navigate to that promotions section of your email and missing out again on something you really desire. So making sure if that new sale or that new product's back in stock, you can get it immediately. In his case, he was desperate for a hoodie and he was able to get it and have a really great customer outcome and experience. So how do you do it?
Exactly. So same thing as a Winback under the automations, create a new automation. So we have the Winback here and we've got the back stock notification. Exact same template with just a few extra features. So like you said, if you're doing it on a specific, you know, hoodie or t-shirt, back in stock notification, set your budget as mentioned before, and then the stock level. So, you know, if you know you're only going to get 3 or 5 of these specific items, or if you know you're going to get X amount, put in what stock level you'd like that SMS to be triggered at. And then the time frame. So once you've changed your stock level within Shopify, do you want that text to send straight away, or do you want to send it at a specific time? So the next morning at 9 a.m, in the afternoon 2 p.m, whatever your preference is. Once you've selected the time frame, just choose the product you are sending to. So I'm going to do, cool, so say this Adidas backpack here, right? That's been selected. I'll show you how it looks like on your actual store as well. So with the SMS content sort of things, again, if you want to use the MMS, you can use the primary image or upload a new image. And this is how it look on the right hand side of the SMS, or you can just use plain SMS. So again, first name is Adidas backpack is back at store at my store name. You can purchase it now, and it'll direct them straight to the product as well. Now, once you've actually, if an item is out of stock, so I'll see if I can show you a quick live example here. Okay, cool. So one of these backpacks, I'll quickly change the stock level 0 in my product section within Shopify. So this can also be configured. It will sort of use your same color scheme with the when you click the button message when available. So I'll show you that quickly. I'll change stock to 0 and we'll hit save. That's all good. If I refresh this session here, Wants to play nice. Yep, that's sold out. Now I can just quickly activate this in here and click publish. So now my back in stock notification is live on the website. And we can hit refresh. So now that I've activated that, I should get a nice button message when available. So it uses the same color scheme of the website. Again, this can be configured as well. When you do hit message, this is a way of customers opting in as well for SMS. So I'll put my name, my mobile number, hit notify me, and then we've put that in the back end on our end. So then when you've actually changed the I said minimum was 5. When you increase it and hit save. So we've updated the stock level. Within a minute or so, that workflow will start triggering. We'll look at the list of numbers and who's inquired to be opted in for that SMS, and then they'll get that text message there. So if we go back into automations, within probably a few minutes, once that automation gets triggered on, you'll be able to see a sessions for the back in stock notification.
Fantastic. So that means that it's a really simple way to get lead captures for things, and also real intent for purchase from customers who are saying that they are desperate for getting that stock, that item back on track, and they're telling you very clearly that they want to be notified.
Exactly. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone.
Fantastic. And then I guess the final one is, can you show us? So you started talking a bit about lead capture. Can you talk to us a bit about how you actually do lead capture and how do you collect some of those mobile phone numbers?
So there are multiple ways, and by default, especially on any Shopify store you go to, is you go in, a little pop-up form comes up that says, hey, enter your email, enter your number, you get $10 off, for example. So whether using a third-party app or the Shopify's default of getting that information, we also support pop-up forms as well. So this is for capturing specific mobile numbers as well. Capturing numbers, so there's multiple ways you can opt in. So whether you says, hey, register with us, and then that you've integrated that with Shopify, or if you just want to do a form specifically for SMS, you can create a form with us. So creating the form, very simple, under the pop-up form section, and we hit new form. Right, we're going to revamp this whole section to make it honestly look sexier in a way, but with the background color, again, you can use your own color coding schemes if you want. I'm going to make this as ugly most likely as possible. Feature image, so you can select any image of your product, so whether it's at the top or if you want to add a hero image on the right hand side. You'll be able to specify as well the pixels with our next release on this color code there. Heading style, so whether it's, at the moment we have pre-vamped, pre-formatted fonts that you can use. And again, same thing with the text color, and then of the button color, obviously at the bottom. Now, this is for the design tab on the top here. Content, so obviously the content here, offer 10% off when you give us your number. Cool. So you can add a subheading, which get off when you sign up to receive text, X amount. Customer enters their country, first name and email, and the mobile number. Once they agree, again, we add a little terms and conditions tab for you that says, you agree to receive marketing messages from the phone number provided. You can opt out at any time as well. So once they hit sign up, at the bottom there, you can then generate the your discount code is 10 off. So obviously make sure you created that discount code already in Shopify. And then what will happen is we'll create a customer list, which you can use for future campaigns now when they've opted in as well.
Fantastic. And we've actually seen this form capture working really effectively for a rather large skincare company that has just launched new products into Australia. So if you happen to have people who follow reality TV, you'll probably notice that that particular skincare is actually doing lead capture for new product launches and a 10% offer, actually using our solution as well. And then I guess the final one, Joey, can you just run us really briefly through an SMS campaign? Because there's always, it's, you know, these things are always, but if you've got a new offer or a new line or a new product launch coming out, how do you let customers know?
Exactly. Yeah. So there is 2 sections where you can send campaigns within our app. So on the left-hand side, you'll see SMS Campaign. So, you know, say you just launched a new product, as an example, hit new campaign. We'll call it October Flash Sale. And I think Black Friday, potentially this month, and, you know, you got Click Frenzy soon. So this section always gets overloaded on here. So once you created the name, recipient, so you'll choose the customer list. So obviously Shopify has, you know, your new, returning, or whatever list you've imported, and then you actually got abandoned checkouts as well. So, you know, anyone that has abandoned checkout, you can target those customers as well. The scheduling, so if you wanted to send it straight away or schedule it for later, you can schedule that in there. Discount, same as last time. If you're going to apply a discount, that can be applied straight to their cart, or you can add in the content. And then type out your SMS. So, you know, hello Joseph, flash sale on now. Cool. Review and send. You'd probably be type out something more nicer than that. Once you've created that, you'll see a little bottom of cost summary. So this is how much the SMS is going to cost. If you're sending it to one, an X amount of SMSs it will cost. And then once you're good to send, just hit send. Once that's sent, again, we'll give you stats on how many sales you received. So sent, sessions, how many checkouts that you've, I guess, have created from this campaign, or total number of orders, and the dollar figure as well, and the return on investment.
Right.
Now,
and
if you want to get,
those checkouts again, Joey?
What was that, sorry?
How do you know that those checkouts are associated with your SMS campaign?
Yeah, so in the SMS, we add a link, so which is obviously your cart URL, which we will shorten to our sort of like a URL shortener. In that URL shortener, we provide tracking as well. So if they do go on the website and proceed to purchase something, we're able to collate that information and match up with converted X with that order. Now, the other section of sending SMSs is within the marketing section in Shopify. So under marketing and campaigns. Now, you know, I helped the customer where they wanted to get very technical in a way. So they wanted to shoot out an email, then send out through Facebook ads to target, and then flow back into SMS. So under marketing and campaigns, if you hit create campaign, and then we'll move to the SMS tab. So SMS campaign, if you are doing a large bulk send as well of like 50K, this will be the section to send it from as well. So again, go to flash sale, target audience, we'll just do all customers. If you want to market SMS as a specific product, so if you have a high value product or specific, I guess, customer base you want to target, you can search again for the famous t-shirt or any product you want to send to. Set up a daily budget again to cap out the cost, depending on the amount of credits you have within the portal. Schedule the campaign, so you can set out a specific date and time, and then again adding the image. So if you want to select the primary product image and then type in your SMS content here. So, you know, last chance, we have a few templates already. So last chance to shop a 48-hour sale, 50% off that X amount of store, ending soon, and stops out, opt out, hit schedule. And when you hit schedule, this will appear campaign summary within here. So again, you'll do the same stat, that's 30 days. But if you wanted to add another activity, whether it's, you know, Shopify email, or if you wanted to do Facebook ads, you'll be able to see in sync which one's converting more and which one's playing nicer.
Fantastic. So that really talks to that whole omni-channel experience, which will just always enhance customers' experience. And it's about figuring out right channel, right time to actually get that conversion.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for showing us through all of those and how you can actually start setting those up. What we're going to do now is we're going to flick back across to talking about some of the questions that we've had coming through, and what customers start knowing about how they can use this. So one thing I will say, as you're talking about the templates, we do have templates pre-built and created within the Shopify app. We also have them available as blogs as that you can reference for something to help you out with. But Joey, we had a few questions come through that I'll pose to you. How many SMS can be sent out at a time if I've got a particularly large database?
So ideally would recommend sort of a maximum of 50,000 SMSs in your campaign, and we'll process that very quickly. If you do have a larger one, we'd probably prefer you to batch it.
Which is also probably help you shop as well, in terms of just making it a bit more solid.
Exactly right. You don't want to load your website.
And so with that campaign features element, so that means this does integrate really fully within Shopify. So I can use SMS as I would in any of the other apps that work there.
Exactly right. Yeah, spot on.
Right. And if my shop is actually serving international customers, do these SMSs go internationally? Like, is this possible?
Yeah, 100%. We'll be able to identify the area code and shoot over internationally.
Great. And you talked a little bit about the URL shortener. What's that about? What's the benefit there?
Yep. So similar to how other third-party like Bitly, which is I guess a popular one, work, Message Media have their own URL shortening tool as well. So when you paste a link, whether it's to your store or to another specific product page, we'll automatically shorten it to our own domain. I think the powerful thing about that is we'll provide tracking, and this is how you get your stats within Shopify as well. So it comes included with, and I guess that's what populates your stats, give you more accurate stats as well.
Yeah, fantastic. That is actually all the questions that we did have coming through. If there are questions that that anyone on the call does have, if you would like to speak to our retail specialist, just send a text through to that number. Benefit is SMS, it gets great cut through, and he will be able to get in touch with you very shortly and give you a hand with any questions that you've got. But from here, we promised you how to get started in 30 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up on the 30-minute mark. We are going to make this webinar available on demand after this session. We'll be sending you out an email in the coming days, and you can always reference this back on our website in our resources section, see our blogs, templates, and whatever you need to do. And if you want to get going with Shopify, just reach out to us and we're happy to help. Thanks very much for your time.